Hey guys, Mr. Bruce here. Today's book is about a boy named Jim on his first day of school, and it's called Will I Have a Friend? But before we start, eyes watching, ears listening, voices quiet, body calm. Okay. Will I have a friend? Remember when you started school and you weren't sure if you'd have any friends there or not? Well, it's sort of like this. When Dad was taking Jim to school for the first time, Jim said, "Dad, will I have a friend?" "Oh," Dad said, "I think you will." And he smiled at him. When they got to the classroom, Dad said, "Goodbye." Well, Jim didn't say anything. He didn't want to say goodbye. "Come on in, Jim," the teacher said. He was still a little shy, wasn't he? All the boys were making noise. Well, we've seen that before. The girls were laughing. Where was his friend? Maybe his friend was in there somewhere. Look, that girl's playing with the baby doll, and the boys are laughing. Over here is a puzzle. It looks like our school, kind of. The teacher said, "Here is Bill. He is a rocket man." Bill said, "Roar," and he rocketed off. "This is Anna Maria." She walked by and she was pulling a wagon full of blocks. Jim looked at them. Anna Maria just skipped away. He was still by himself. Next, Jim went over to a big table. There were lumps and lumps of clay on it. The children were pulling and pinching and poking and patting the clay. They were making snakes, hills, holes, a banana. Jim reached out and touched the clay. It was cool and it was wet. When he picked it up, it was heavy. It is true. You play with Play-Doh and it's heavy. Well, Jim played for a while with the clay and he shaped a little man, but he didn't have anybody to show it to. Now was snack time, orange juice and cookies. George said, "I want to pass the cookies." "Look," shouted Bill, "I bit the moon." "So did I," said Anna. They were all playing. When they say bit the moon, that means when they bite a cookie and it looks like the moon when it gets smaller. Jim tried to think of something to say. Well, he said it to Joseph, but Joseph's mouth was full of cookies and he didn't answer. The pitcher was empty. Juice time was over. Sarah was telling Margaret a secret. Jim looked at them. Were they his friends? Over here, Danny was shouting, "Let's do funny tummies." Danny poked out his tummy and bumped Billy's, and Willie stumped Sammy's. When they bumped, they laughed. "Hello, Mr. Funny Tummy." Jim was watching him, and he laughed too. The teacher called and said, "Come on, it's story time." All the children came running. Jim sat next to Paul. The teacher read them a book about a monkey. Oh, maybe it was Curious George. Danny jumped up and said, "I'm a monkey." Ooh, 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 ooh. He put his tongue in his lips and stuck his fingers in his ears and made noises just like a monkey. Ooh, 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 ooh. The teacher said, "Well, now it's time for monkeys to rest." They lay down on their mats. Just like at our place, it's hard for them to stay still. Jim looked at the ceiling and he scratched his head. He rolled over. He rolled back. Someone was looking at him. It was Paul. And Paul had something in his hand. What does that look like? It looks like something red. When rest time was over, everyone got up. "Look what I have," said Paul, and he showed Jim a tiny red truck. Jim reached out and put Paul in his hand. "The doors really work," said Paul. "I have a gas pump," he said. I'll bring it tomorrow. We can play. Anna Maria called, Jim and Paul, do you want to play with us? Okay, Jim asked Paul. Sure, said Jim. That's okay. Let's go play with them. After school, skipping home, Jim said to his dad, do you know what? I have a friend at school. Dad said, I thought you would, and he smiled down at him again. The end. And there's Jim smiling. He has friends, just like you do at school. You know, whenever I see a new kid at Garden Preschool, I always try to be extra nice to him and to say his name a bunch of times to know that we remember him, so he can fit right in. And you could do the same thing. When there's someone new, you can go over and say, hey, do you want to play with us? It'll make you feel good, and it'll make them feel good. Okay, until tomorrow, I will see you. But until then, be sure to be good to your folks and wash your hands. Bye-bye.